Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Keith with Craps TX. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up for us. It really helps push it out. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when the next video comes out. And again, I've mentioned it on the last video, make sure you subscribe. Once we get up close to it, or once we get to 1,000, we're going to have a giveaway. So it's only going to be for subscribers. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe. So today's strategy, we're going to pit player A against player B, if I can say that correctly. Player A against player B. Not even really a tongue twister, but somehow I managed to mess it up. Anyway, we're going to take $300 for each player, and we are going to go back to the basics. You know, whenever you're starting out and you don't know exactly what's going on or whatever, people just tell you, hey, just play the pass line or pass line with odds, or just play the 6 or 8 or the 6 and the 8. And then, you know, just watch, you know, and don't press up or anything. Just, you know, as you hit your bets, you know, just collect them and keep going. So we are going to do that today and see what does better, the pass line with odds or playing the 6 and 8. We're going to try to keep it as even as possible. So pass line, we're going to play the $15 table, 15 on the pass line, 15 in odds or 1 times odds. We are going to have a little bit more on the 6 and 8 because on a $15 table, you have to play 18 at each. So we're going to be a total of $36. So you have 36 working against 30. Yes, we could play just one number and make it $30, like play a $30 8 against a 15 and a 15 on the pass line. But we're going to do it where it's the 2 most common numbers against the other most common number. But, you know, obviously that's at the disadvantage. You'd have to play the don't pass to do that. That's a whole other animal, but we have a video on that. I'll put a link for it up here somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, before we get started on that, though, I'd like to thank our 2 sponsors, our partners, pokerchipmania.com. They've got the clay and ceramic chips, also the composite chips that we use here. They also have the 19 millimeter dice. They've got poker and blackjack supplies, roulette chips, chip racks like this, storage cases that these racks go into. They have different kinds of felts. They're also a very small business, so if you have any kind of a custom order or anything like that and you don't see it on their website, contact them. You know, say, hey, can you do this for me? And they'll tell you yes or no, and, you know, see if they can help you out. And for my viewers, as a plus, they are giving us 10% off our entire order by using that code down there, CRAPSTX10, at checkout. So go ahead and go check out pokerchipmania.com and get your little home casino started up. Next up, I'd like to thank gripmats.etsy.com. That is gripmats.etsy.com. It's where I got my deluxe craps mat, and they have a regular craps mat as well, plus several other casino games like poker, blackjack, and baccarat. They are a game-centric website, I guess you could say. They've got over 300 different designs, different game pieces and whatnot. They have mats that have Axis and Allies, GMT games, Terraforming Mars. They have grid and hex type mats. They also have some wet, dry erase mats. They have mats for your desk. They have travel mats. They also have some licensed product like Star Wars, Marvel, and Dune. Top-notch artwork. Everything is water resistant, super durable. They even pour a little cup of water. They have a video on their website where they pour a cup of water on a mat like this and it beads up and they just wipe it off with a microfiber towel. So they also take some custom orders. If you just reach out to them, they'll let you know also if they can accommodate your custom order if you don't see it on their website. They also run percentage off sales. Just click on the item that you're looking for, and if it's discounted, you'll see it right there on the description. And speaking of description, both companies are in the description down below, gripmats.etsy.com that we just finished up, and then the prior company was pokerchipmania.com. Go check them out. Get your home casino started up. All right, let's get on to the basics. It's Monday. This video is coming out on a Monday, so we don't want to think too hard, right? So we're just going to plit. See, there I go again. Pit player A against player B, and we're going to play pass line and odds with one player, and then 6 and 8 at the minimum table bet with the other player, and see, not necessarily who comes out on top, but just see how they fare against each other. So we're going to start out with $300 each. 1, 2, 50, 75, and 3. 1, 2, 50, 75, and 3. I'll have two separate racks over here, just so hopefully I won't get things confused. You know, I have hard enough time just running one player, and here I am stepping up and trying to play two players. So it's either going to be, hey, that's, you know, pretty good comparison there, or hey, that was a good video to watch Keith crash and burn, which, yeah, you never know. We just might. I'm filming this on a Friday night, so it's been a long week. I'm a little tired. We could very easily crash and burn on this, but we're going to try to keep it straight. So we're going to start off, we'll just say this is player 1 and player 2 rather than player A, player B. So player 1, we're going to put a $15 pass line bet for the come out roll. We're not going to work the come out on player 2, so we're not necessarily have to put our bets out there right now. So let's go ahead and get a point set. On the pass line for player 1, he can win on the 7 and the 11 on the come out roll. If a 2 or 3 comes out, or a 12, you will lose that bet and have to replace it. So right now, the player 2 doesn't have any kind of advantage or disadvantage. They don't have any chips on the table. So dice are out. There is a 5, 3, 8. So this will kind of help both players in case an 8 hits. Anyway, 8's our point. Like I said, we're going to play one-time odds for player 1. So that is $15 on the pass line, $15 behind. All right, so player 2 is going to throw out $36. There's 35, there's 40. And he'll get $4 in change and say, dealer, please set me up 18 on the 6 and 8. So there we go. There is 15, 15, 18, and 18. All right, so we got player 1 against player 2. We have an 8, which could help both of them if it hits. Dice out, 5, 1, 6. All right, player 2, 18, pays 21. So they are at the advantage right now. I'm not going to keep saying that, but we'll just kind of keep going. I'm not going to give you a running total as we go, but we'll be able to see, you know, the chip stacks over here, what it looks like after a few rolls. All right, dice out. 6, 5, yo, 11. We'll just kind of call this, I guess, back to the basics, or Ready Player 1 against Ready Player 2, or something like that. Anyway, there's another 6. So again, another $21 to player number 2, and we are going to rack it. It's just going to be same bet every time. I'll color up as we go. There's 5 red for a green, and we'll keep on rolling. Man, they are hitting that 6. There is another 6 for player 2, another $21, and same bet goes back to the rack. Again, we have another 5 red that we'll color up for a green, and dice are out. 3, 2, 5. That helps or hurts nobody. Nothing on the 5. And another 6. There we go. That 6 is hot. Player 2 is running out the gate and leaving the player 1 in the dust. Another $21. Back to the rack. Same bet. Another 5 red for a green. And we got 80 some odd dollars over there for player 2. And there's a 5, 2, and you're through 7. So that is going to be it for that shooter. I want to keep facing that way. Says I was playing with my bank over here a little bit earlier, so that's why. Anyway, let's go. That is a good chunk of change there for player 2. He said 80, probably $85 or so. We'll get us a new set of dice. Player 1 will set up his pass line bet, $15. In this case, I know you can't see it straight up from there, but that's why I spread it out there. All right, let's go ahead and take that hard 10. Coming out, looking for a point. Dice are out. There's a 5, 4, 9. Kind of glad that came out because I'll be able to show you a little idiosyncrasy in the game. First of all, we'll get our player 2 bet out there, $36. Let's see if we can't do it like this. I think we can. There's 15, and then 3 and 3. There's 18. Okay, so that player's set up, and then we're going to have to get change for player 1. There's 4 red and 5 white. That's $25. The reason I'm getting the white is because when it's a 5 or a 9, those pay 3 to 2 on the odds back there, so you need to have an even number. So we can't play 15 behind. We need to add $1 and play 16 behind, since it is a $15 table. So 15 would be your minimum, so you'd have to go up. You can't go down to 14 or 10 or whatever. I don't know where this came from. Oh, that was one of my extras. There we go. All right, so now we got that set up. pass line with odds, and player 2's got his 6 and 8. The point is 9, and there is a 3-1-4. No help to anybody. There's a 6-2-8. All right, player 2 again, jumping on out there, making some money. Dice are out. Right back to back. Funny how that player just keeps hitting those back-to-back numbers like that. Another $21. And as always, we're going to color up as we go. There is 5 red for a green. And dice are out. There is a 6-1-7. All right, 6-1 and you're done. We are going to have to take all this down. So that does not help either player, obviously. But player 2 did get a couple of hits on the 8. So again, still in the lead for now. In the lead and built for speed. All right, so puck goes off. Throwing my green out here to get some change. There's 5 red for player 1 for the $15. There's 15. Stack that up on the pass line. And then player 2, we'll just wait until we get a point set. We'll get a new set of dice. There is a hard 10. We'll take that. Looking for a point. Dice are out. There is a 12. No good for player 1. As I said earlier, pass line, you lose on the 2, 3, and 12, or what they call craps numbers. So we'll have to buy in for another $15. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to throw that down there. We'll buy in. Keep that 15 up there. Dice out. 6-5-yo. Now that helps. You win on the 7 and 11 on the pass line, on the come out roll. So there is our $15 back. We'll leave that off to the side. And a 2x4 6. All right, so 6 will be our point. We'll go ahead and put our $15 in odds behind, and then we'll get $36 and play the 6 and 8 with player 2. Whoa, get that set up. I can quit throwing chips around here. All right, there is 15 each, 18 with the cap. 6 is our point. Pass line and odds, and 6 and 8 for player 2. And there is 6. Okay, that helps both of them. Buckshot. Point hit right after the point was set. They call that buckshot. So we'll pay this player first. 18 is going to pay 21. So we're just going to, same bet. We're not pressing at all. That is off. Okay, so down here you win 15 on the flat bet. For the 6 and 8, the odds pay 6 to 5. So we have three sets of 5 or 15 chips. So that would pay 18. So there's 18. So 15 and 18. $33 total. So we'll take all that down and we'll color it up as we go. There's 5. 5 for a green. All right. These are off, not working. The pass line is always working. On the come out roll, that is, dice out. And there is a 2 craps. So right off the bat, he's getting hit for $15 because you lose on that 2, 3, and 12. All right, looking for a point still. Dice out. Jumpy dice. There's a 5, 4, 9. 9 will be our point. Once again, we're going to play 16 behind. I'm going to have to get some more red for this player. There's 25. There's 5 for 25. We're going to put 15 back there. Let me get rid of that quarter there. And then another $1 to make it 16 since that pays 3 to 2. All right, dice out. And a 5, 2, 7. So right there we are done. Quick shooters. Kind of been all around. Well, no, that was the one shooter, the first shooter with all those 6s, and then that other shooter that had a couple of 8s. But we've had a couple of quick shooters in a row, and that does not help anybody. All right, so back to the basics for player 1 versus player 2, whatever we're going to call it. We'll think of something. I usually like to mention the name of the strategy as we go, but this is not necessarily a strategy so much as it is like a beginner type betting system, I guess you could say. So there's 15 on our pass line for player 1. Player 2, we're going to wait till the point is set. Dice out. 5, 4, 9. All right, 9 is our point, just like it was last time. We'll have to get some more red for player 1. There is 5 for a quarter. And we'll put 16 behind. Whoops. So there is 15 plus $1 from our rack. Make it 16 behind. And then now we'll put our 36 out here. 25, 35, and 6. And get set up on the 6 and 8. Some people would say, well, why don't you just play one number, which I kind of said that at the beginning, you know, one number against one number. You could do that. Statistically, I mean, it almost comes out the same from what I was reading. I mean, it's still like a 1.52 advantage versus 0.081 or something, or 0.81 or something like that. Anyway, we could also do, like I said, we could do that. We could play 30 on one of these numbers, and that would match the 30 or 31 down there. But I've seen it this way as well, so we're just going to take it that way and see how it ends up. 6 to 8. All right, advantage player 2. 18 is going to pay 21. And we will same bet it and put that back in our rack. All right, dice are out. There are scenarios, and there's a 6 to 8, where the pass line would win over the 6 and 8. Obviously, if, you know, like this, you know, you got any other number but the 6 and 8, and you start hitting a bunch of those numbers, well, that'll be at an advantage for the pass line, especially if you're hitting that point number. There is 5 for a quarter. We'll color up as we go. Dice out. Got to hit the back wall shooter. There's a 4-1-5. Doesn't help. And a 4-3-7. So like if we would have got the 9, and if I'm not going to say that. If we would have got the 9, obviously, you know, pass line better would have won, and the box number better would have lost. But they both lost with that 4-3-7 out. So we'll get us another set of dice. We'll keep on rolling. We're only 17 minutes in. Let's put that back in the rack, get it out of the way, and get us a set of dice. We'll just take that hard 10 right there and get our 15 for player 1 on the pass line. Dice are out. 5-2-7. Okay, our pass line guy is finally winning a little bit. Pays on the 7 and the 11, so there's $15. There's a 1-to-1 payout. And there is our 11, 6-5 yo, another $15 for player 1. Gaining a little ground, slowly but surely. Don't call me Shirley. There's a 6-5 yo, 3 back to back. And that's also 2 horn numbers back to back. All right, we're getting a little stack there, so we're going to take 5 of them and turn it into a green chip. Dice out. Still looking for a point. But player 1 didn't mind because he was racking up some of those frontline winners. 3-1-4. 4 is going to be our point. We are going to put $15 in odds behind. That would be nice if player 1 would hit that, because that pays 2-to-1 on the 4 and the 10. And then we got to get set up on our 6 and 8 for player 2. There is 15 each, 18. I'm going to need another $1. Don't want to cross those 2 racks there. There's 5 for a nickel, and we'll put 1 of them there and 4 back in the rack. All right, back to the basics. I'm just going to keep throwing names out there, and one of them will stick eventually. There's a 6-4-10 and a 2x4 6. All right, so player 2 advantage. There's $21. Actually, player 1 is still ahead over there. Dice out. There's a 3-2-5. Nothing there. Big old gaping hole. And a 5-4-9. Same thing. It's just weird how you just dance around 2 of the most popular numbers. Well, there we go. We're dancing with them now. 8 pays 21 because that's 18 there. So there's 21. And back to the rack. We're going to take 5 of those, swap them for a quarter. No, you're not really supposed to do that at an actual casino. I just do it. And I say it all the time. I do it just to keep those stacks from getting in the way. I'll knock them down. I'm clumsy sometimes. So there's a 6-4-10. Nothing there. And a 6-3-9. Nothing there. We're just counting down now. Got to hit the back wall shooter. There's a hard 10, so we're going back up. 6-4-10. Well, that 10 is really hitting. Why can't we hit that 4 on the other side? There we go. Call for it, and you get it. I didn't know I just had to call for it. All right, so 4 is hit. That's our point. That is going to pay 15 on the flat bet there, and then it'll pay 30 on the back, the odds bet. So it's 15. It pays 2-to-1, so it's 30. So we made $45 on that point hit. So we'll color that up as we go, as always. And we're doing okay now with player one. All right, still same shooter. We need a new point. We've got our pass line working for player one. Player two's bets are not on. There is a 3 craps. That is not good for player one. He's going to lose $15. You lose on the 2, 3, 12. Nice out. There is a hard 6. All right, that's going to be our point. We'll set our odds behind. I'm going to have to get some red. There is 1 green for 5 red, and we'll put $15 behind for our odds, and then everything is live, player one and player two. There is a 2 craps. Doesn't help, doesn't hurt. That puck is off, or on rather, so doesn't affect. Look at there, 2 craps right back to back. Need to be playing the ATS. I always say that, but rarely do I play it. There is a 5-1-6, so that helps both players. 18 is going to pay 21 for player 2, and we'll get that racked up and out of the way just so we can concentrate on player 1. There's 5 for a quarter. And now player 1, that 6 pays 15 on the flat, and then it pays 3 to 2 on the back bet. So that is $3 for every $2. So there's, no, I'm sorry, that is wrong. That is the 5 and 9 that pays 3 to 2. That pays 6 to 5, $6 for every 5. So we have 3 5s. That means we need 3 times 6, so 18. There we go. So $33 total won on that point. That will go back to the rack. Puck is off. We'll go ahead and color up real quick. There's 5 and 5, so it's 2 green. So there's $100 over there already for that player. And we're looking for a point. Dice are out. There's a 12. Man, that player gets burned by those. Okay, so we'll just do it this way. Okay, we lose that, so we need to buy in again for that. I'm going to have to get some change. 1, 2, 3. And that will go back here, and the red will go back over there. Looking for a point. There is a hard 4. All right, 4 is going to be our point. We're going to place odds back there, and hopefully we'll hit them because that is that 2 to 1 on the 4 and the 10. These are live again, so everything is game. It's including that one, the one that takes them all away from you. All right, 5, 2, 7, or some people say 5, 2, and you're through. All right. So, where are we at on time? 22 minutes. Puck is off. We got time for another shooter, maybe 2, depending on how they go. Depending on how they go, which way the wind blows. Nothing there. We'll take that hard 10. We're going to get change. Whoa! Throwing his chips around. Get change for player. It's player 1. So there is 5 for a quarter. 3 of those are going to go on our pass line to start the game off. This particular shooter. Dice are out. We're going back to the basics, pitting player 1 against player 2. There's a 3 craps we're going to lose. There is 25, and I'll get 2 and change, or 10 and change rather. Paying my extra 15 because we just lost 15 on the pass line with that 3 craps on the come out roll. Dice out. There's a 5-1-6. All right, 6 will be our point. We'll get our odds behind. We have 15 down there, so we're going to put 15 behind. And now we get to put 36 out here for our 6 and 8. There's $36. Dealer, place 18 on the 6 and 8. Quit fumbling my chips around. Yes, sir. There's 15. And little conversations I have with myself. One of these days I'll do a live and we can have conversations with each other. How about that? Dice out. There is a 3-2-5. Nothing doing there for anybody. And a 2x4-6. All right, that's going to help both our players. Once again, puck goes off. 6 right here for player 2 is going to pay 21. That's $18, pays 21. And then down there, like we did last time, it pays 15 on the flat and pays 6 to 5 on the back. So that is $18 right there. All right, so we'll get that racked up out of the way. That stays, and this goes back to this rack over here. We'll color these up a little bit. There's 5 for a quarter. I need to get some singles, so I'm going to swap out 5 singles while I can. There's 5 for a nickel. And then we have nickels again, but we'll leave those there because we've been having to change those out anyway. All right, dice are coming out. Looking for a new point. There's a 5-4-9. All right, 9's our point. What do we have to do back there? Anybody? Bueller. That's right. We got to put 16 back there when it's a 5 or a 9 because they pay in increments of 2 or 3 to 2. There's a 3, 2, 5. Does not help. And a 4, 1, 5. We're always hitting opposite numbers. When it was 4, we were hitting 10s. When it's 9s, we're hitting 5. Come on now. I need some help. 6, 4, 10. Either one of these players need help. Look at that. 6, 4, 10. We're just dancing all around everything that is not covered by what we're on. Well, you said you want to see movement? We'll see movement. We'll just take that money right back to the bank. Oh, man. Puck goes off. We got time for one more shooter. We'll do it to it. Get this racked up and out of the way. And we'll take $15 for player 1. Get that pass line bet on there. Whoa, we got to get us a set of dice. And they're reaching for air. Can't throw air. I mean, you can, but not going to do you any good. 6, 2, 8. We'll throw that. Dice are out. Whoa, they were really out. 4, 3, 7. All right, frontline winner. 15 pays 15. So player 1 just won. Right back to back. 6, 1, 7. Good time for those 7s to come out. That is obligatory. You have to say that when the puck is off and 7s come out. It's a good time for a 7. There's 5 reds for a green. And we're going to keep on rolling, trying to get a point. And there is our point. We got a square pair, a hard 8. And then now player 2 can join the game. There is $36. He's going to get set up 18 on the 6 and 8. And see if he can't make a little money. Also, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we got to put, let's see, we're on the 8. So we're going to put $15 behind. We'll take 25 and get 5. I think that's 5. Yep. And 3 of those will go behind our pass line bet for odds. Dice out. 3, 2, 5. Again, here we go. We're going to play that game where we hit everything except for the numbers that we're on. There's a 5, 4, 9. Let's see. We got a 4 and a 10. Can we hit those? No, we're going to go back to the 5. 3, 2, 5. Okay. I see you. How about some horn numbers? No. 6, 2, 8. All right. That's going to help both our players. 18 is going to pay 21 for player 2. Get that racked up out of the way. And then down there, 15 on the flat and 18 on the odds bet. So total of $33 back to the rack. I'll swap some of those out, not all of them. There's 5 for a quarter. Those go back. Puck goes off. Last shooter here. Dice are out. There is 5, 2, 7. All right. There's another $15. That's a frontline winner for our pass line player. Again, we'll take another 5 there, swap it out for a green, and dice are out. Who's your favorite player? Player 1 or player 2? Who do you think is going to win? Without counting, who do you think is going to win? There's a 6, 1, 7. There's another winner for the front line right there. And then we'll take another 5 and swap it out for a green. So he's already got a stack of green, and we haven't even set a point yet. Nice out. Another 5, 2, 7. Man. Raking it in. There's another 15. We'll just leave that. We won't have to swap those out just yet. Nice out. 5, 4, 9. How about that? We got a point finally. Player 2 is like, man, it's about time. Golly. It's making nothing over here. 5, 4, 9. Okay, so now we got to set our point. That was a 5, 4, 9. Sorry. I picked the dice up before I not set our point. We got to play our odds. So with the 9, what do we play back there, folks? We play 16. That's right. Why? Because odds pay 3 to 2 on the 5 and the 9. So you want an even number to divide by. There's a 4, 1, 5. All right, here we go. We're going to hit the opposite number. Points of 9. We're going to hit 5s. Oh, no. We hit a 9. Cool. All right. Puck goes off. These guys don't win, but that guy down there does. He gets 15 there and then 3 to 2 on the back. So you got 16. That's 8. So 3 times 8 is 24. We'll pay 25, and we'll take $1 back. So there is another good chunk of change for player 1. There is 5 red for a green, and we're getting low on green. But you know what? Player 1's got a stack. There's 4 of them for a black chip. Looking for a point. Dice are out. 6, 2, 8. Right, 8 will be our point. This is our last shooter. I did forget to place the odds again. $15 back behind that pass line bet, or one-time odds. And there is a 4-3-7. All right, so that's going to do it. I did say this was the last shooter. We're getting right on 30 minutes here. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. This is a back to the basics strategy, or player 1 against player 2, whatever we're going to call it. We'll figure it out. First of all, let's get these guys set up and get these chips counted, see where we're at. We'll get player 1 right over here. And he's got a black chip, but that's because we colored up as we were going. Player 2, we'll set them up right here. Hopefully you can see everything. I think I got the light on there okay. All right, let's go ahead and color up player 2. There is 5 white for a red. There is 5 red for a green. And then now, let's see what we got here. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. That is 4 chips per stack. So that is $300. So there's 3 black chips. So we have 1, 2, 3. That was his starting bankroll. There's 25, 30, 35, 40, and 2. 342. Player 2 made 342, or made $42 really. Player 1, there is 5 white for a red. No coloring up on the red. The green, we have 1, and we have 2. That's going to do it for that one. And we'll get 2 black chips. I'm going to reach over here and get another one. And player 1 has 1, 2, 3, 50, 60, 2. I think that's a come from behind winner there for player 1. 362 against 342. So by $20, the pass line with odds beat out the 6 and 8. I should have just said like a mandatory number of shooters. I don't know how many we went through. Maybe 8, maybe 10. I don't know. I don't even know. That way we could have like judged it like that. Of course, over the course of hundreds of thousands of shooters, it's going to be probably fairly even, I would say. But I think your pass line is still probably going to come out a little bit better in the long run. I think that's what I saw. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Hopefully I didn't mess up anywhere trying to play 2 players. Sometimes my left hand don't know what my right hand's doing. Fortunately, this stick was in my left hand, and that's all I had to worry about. Actually, no, it was in my right hand. It was in my left hand. I'd throw the dice, and then I'd move it to the right hand. So the left and the right hand had to know what they were doing with the stick. That's what she said. All right, so you can also email us right here at crapstx@gmail.com. And if you got any questions or some suggestions for strategies, we will check them out and see if we can't run them out for you. Let us know if you want us to use your name, and we will. Before we leave, go check out our partners down there. PokerChipMania.com and gripmats.etsy.com. Links in the description below. As I said in the beginning, we're going to have a drawing when we come up to 1,000 subs, and those 2 guys are helping out right there, those 2 companies. We'll see what else we can do for you guys, and we'll either have 1 big winner, or we might have 2 or 3 winners total, the first place, second place, third place, if you will. First of all, we got to see what all we get, and then we'll go from there, and I'm going to chip in some stuff as well. So hit that thumbs up. The important part is to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. I'll say it again, subscribe. The only people that are going to win, or person, depending if it's 1 winner or multiple winners, are the subscribers. So even if you're one of those that jump in and jump out, you're going to have to be subscribed, and then we're going to run a certain video. We're going to tell you what to do in that video, and then hopefully the subscribers see it and take advantage of it, and then we'll have a drawing. It'll most likely be something like, say a certain comment down in the comments below, and then we'll use one of those random people pickers, winner pickers, picker winners, winner pickers, whatever you want to call it, and figure out who wins. So that is going to do it. That was the Back to the Basics, or Player 1 versus Player 2, however you want to call it. Player 1 won by $20, 362 to 342. Had a lot of fun doing that for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.